What appears as discipline on the outside is really love on the inside, unless you are indeed imposing a practice on yourself from the outside. That would be a mechanical discipline, but don't do
realizing. I'm realizing that I bring a certain amount of Puritanism to my
no. Well, okay, so that has served you well thus far. It's brought you to this understanding, but now abandon it.
Yes.
Now go the way of understanding, and just as you are already, you're in love with the truth. You have this deep interest in the truth. Follow that, and if that requires some effort in order to trace your way back to yourself, or in order to realign the way you feel and perceive with this understanding, then make the effort from that place, from your love and interest in the truth. Don't impose it on yourself as a discipline. This is a way where the separate self sneaks back in through the back door and perpetuates itself by trying to get rid of itself.
Exactly, which relates to the other thing you said about that desire sprung from love, and yet obviously some of the manifestations of desire have this kind of fearful or greedy or angry kind of form. And so, and earlier you said something about don't even entertain the thoughts or the impulses that come from that belief in a separate self, and yet you're also saying that they are connected in some way to love. So I'm trying to understand the practical application of the way that those desires spring ultimately from love.
There are only two types of desire. Some desires come from happiness, and some desires go towards happiness. All desires fall into one of those two categories. The kind of desire that comes from happiness would be a desire, for instance, you feel totally at ease, at peace, complete, full, and you desire to have an intimate relationship in order to share that feeling of fullness or peace or love. That would be a desire that comes from happiness. You're not desiring the intimate relationship in order to become happy or in order to find love. On the contrary, you have already found that in yourself, but it's natural. Happiness is always seeking to share itself. So it is natural to have this impulse to share your happiness in relationship, or in another person it may be more to express that happiness through some kind of creative endeavor. These would be examples of desires that come from happiness, and those desires I recommend you just follow them to your heart's content. There is another kind of desire that comes from the sense of lack. I am incomplete, I'm lonely. And that desire propels us towards, out into the world, towards objects, either substances, activities, states of mind and relationships, object and object. So that's the range of possibilities. So if you find yourself feeling that something is missing and going towards a substance or towards a relationship with the purpose of fulfilling yourself or becoming whole again, then I recommend postponing the gratification of that desire in the objective realm of experience and turning around, so to speak, and investigating who is the self that is unhappy. And in this way you'll never find that self, but in the search for that self, you will find your true self. And you will return to your native happiness. Then you may still have a desire for a particular activity or relationship, and then you can go back out towards it, but you no longer desire that object or relationship for the purpose of finding happiness. but rather for expressing and sharing it.
Beautiful. And
Because if you do, just say one more thing about that, particularly in terms of relationships, if you do approach a relationship, particularly an intimate relationship, with a view of finding happiness, then even if you start a relationship with someone, that relationship will start off on the wrong footing, and it will almost certainly, after the initial excitement of the relationship begins to die down, the seed of the separate self, which initiated the relationship in the first place, will begin to show itself in the form of conflict in the relationship.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
Never happened.
I'm sure nobody knows anything about that.
It's never happened. And the last piece is, you said the other day that it is love, is our love for the truth. It's that actually gives birth to even all of those fearful or greedy.
Yes, it's right. Ultimately, all our desires come from love or come from happiness. And it's only when this desire coming from love is filtered through the belief in separation that it's as if this love is fragmented through the prism of the finite mind. And it is only then that this love turns into need for an object or relationship. But as long as the love or the happiness is not filtered through the sense of separation, then you should just allow it to express itself in life.
But does the knowledge of that have any implications or applications for how you work with that desire once it's been refracted? Does the knowledge of its basis in love inform your practice in some way?
As long as you are sure that your desire does not come from a sense of lack, then just allow your desire to express itself through your particular character, whatever exactly that means. So all you need to check is, does this desire come from a sense of lack? If it does, investigate the self who feels I lack something. If it doesn't, express that love or desire fully in the world.
Thank you.